Hello Baccarat Nation and welcome. This is Craig back here with another video just for you. Alright, today we are going to be going over the Super Bet 3 strategy. Ooh. Yeah, as we were talking in the Facebook group, this is the Super Bet 3. It is played just like Super Bet 4, except I throw a little twist on it when I do it. So I'll be showing you that also. But if you're not familiar with Super Bet 4, got a video on that? Look it up. Come on. I can't do everything for you. But seriously, Super Bet 4. Okay, with Super Bet 4, we had a 93.75 chance of winning our 4-bet sequence. With Super Bet 3, we have a 87.5% chance of winning the 3-bet sequence. So we're giving up 6.25% to play Super Bet 3. However, I think it kind of balances out more that it's easier to recover from a loss. However, in the grand scheme of things, it's just about money and how much money you can afford to put into a system. Because really, in the long run, the math works out the same. Whether you're doing Super Bet 4 or Super Bet 3, it just may be a bigger financial hit, so you got to play within your means. This is almost, I guess I could say, a kind of a low roller version going to Super Bet 3, but that's why I say it's a hard comparison. In fact, I would like to see it go to Super Bet 6. Woo! That would be jacking up the percentages a whole lot more. But anyways, that's another story. Okay, with Super Bet 3, there's 7 ways to win and 1 way to lose. That's how we come up with our 87.5% chance of winning our 3-bet sequence. Now, I have the chart right up here for the Super Bet 3. Those are the 8 possible combinations that will come up. And I am basically going to start from one end to the other and bet the 3-bet sequence. Once you get a win, you go to the next number. So like we have player, banker, player is number 1. As soon as we get a win, if we win on the first one, then we're done betting on that column. We go to the next one. Then we would bet banker, player, banker. As soon as we get a win, move to the next one. When we get a loss, I'll show you how we handle that. But first, let's get playing. Because now I'm going to switch it up and show you how I've been doing Super Bet 3 with a twist. Okay, how I do Super Bet 3 is I combine Super Bet 3 with P3 to a certain extent, where I'm going to be betting chop until one side or the other has 3 of the same results, and then I'll switch to that side. How are we doing that? Well, instead of going just from left to right, straight across the chart, I'll be looking for a first bet that coincides with what I want it to be. So if it's a player is the first result, then I will start at number 2 and get a banker bet. And I will just play them 3 and see how it goes. If I win, same thing. Based on the next result, we will go pick a corresponding selection. I normally still go left to right, but then as far as I can, and when there's no other choices, then I'll go back and fill in the blanks. And once all my selections are done, or as many as I can play, I'll be done with that shoe. So let's just, a lot of information, kind of confusing probably, but basically you can play just like Super Bet 4 straight across. I'm throwing in the chop factor with P3. So let's get playing. We're going to come on the wonderful Wizard of Odds and play this here. You see my base bets are 1, 5, and 15. And if you're doing dollar bets, it would be $1, $5, $15. But they don't have a dollar bets here, so we're going to be doing our 1 unit bet at $5. So our progression will be $5, $25, and $75. But first we need to see a result, because I will be incorporating P3 with it, so I need a result. So let's deal up a hand. I gotta look at the right screen. I just realized I've been looking at the wrong screen the whole time. So let's look back over here at the actual screen, not the recording. Okay, so we have a player. So we're starting off a fresh brand new shoe, and we have player. So like I said, I want to bet chop, and mostly it's going to be on the top line. So player, so I'm going to want a banker selection. So I come over to my little chart. That starts at number 2. I'm also, just so I can keep track, I'm going to write 1 through 8 down. And I'll cross them off as I use them. Okay, so our number 2 selection, I'm going to circle that so I know I'm on number 2. And our selections are banker, player, banker. So I'm going to do a $5 bet on banker. Lost that one. Second bet is a player, and that'll be for $25 on player. Lost that one. Okay, that takes us to the third bet, which is a banker bet, and it will be for $75. Let's see if we get a loss right off the bat here. And we do. Okay, lucky you. Now, we lost that one. So, now, our next bet selection, we would want it to be a chop. So we're going to be looking for another banker, or a banker. And for the recovery I'm using, recovery is 10 units, 50 units, and 100 units. And you'll do this a maximum of 2 times. So if you win like on the second or third bet, you'd only have to do it once. Recovery on the first, you would have to do it at least twice. But no more than 2 times to recover. And whatever it's at, stop and restart. So, like I said, we're going to be going with a next banker bet will be on number 4, because we're going to play the chop. So we're going to go banker, player, player. So this will be $10 on banker. Lost that one. So now we go to $50. I'm sorry, 50 units, which would be $250. Getting steep already here. All right, going for a $250 bet on player. Come on, player. And we get the win. All right, there we are, up $135. Ta-da! That didn't take long. And now we're well into profit, so we will drop back to base bets of 1/5-15 units or 5/25-75 on the dollars. So we can cross off the 4. We finished that one. And we have 3 in a row, so following with the P3, I would want to now jump on the player side, so I'll be looking for a player bet. Again, you don't have to do the P3 part of doing the chops and streaks. You can just play it left to right, straight up, or however you want. This is just what I'm doing. So, we want a player bet after 4, which would take us to 6. So player, player, banker. So we're going to do 6 now. Back to $5 on player. Let's see if the streak will continue. And it does. Okay, we get that win, and we are done with that number. So now we want to continue with the player. Our next player selection comes on 8, which is player, player, player. So let's go 5 to player. And that's a win. Cross that off. We're sticking with player. Do we have another player? Yep, we're going to jump all the way back to number 1. And we'll go player, sticking with the player. Player wins again. Alrighty. Do we got anything left? We got 3 and 5. 3 is a player also, so we will stay with that. Going 1 unit on player. Oh boy, we got quite the little run here going. Okay, let's see what we got left. We got 5. No, that's a banker. So at that point, I will stop. I'm up $155.
Oh my God!
That's good enough for me. So I would now go to another shoe and start the same process over again. So not very complicated. Like I said, you can just play straight through 1 through 8. And then I would cancel it at the end when you got to the 8th and I start a new shoe. Or play like I'm doing with the P3, playing chops until one side or the other has 3 in a row, and then, like I did here, jumped on with that streak. That's basically all there is to it. You can do whatever kind of recovery you want, or no recovery at all. I'm actually thinking a straight martingale 6 would not be a horrible decision to use with this system, where if you do win on that first bet, you're done. So, but you don't make the extra money either, so it's kind of a trade-off. And with the high win percentage, I think it's important to make as much as you can as you go along, because when you get that hit, it is going to hurt, and you're going to have to make it up from there. So that's why I found using a progressive type of betting scheme works best with this system. But anyways, that's it. Play around with it if you want. Check you out in the Facebook group. Until next time, this is Craig for BaccaratNation, signing out.